What's up, Gator fans? Billy Napier was in some hot water this week and caused quite a bit of a stir, but the way he responded to things actually kind of surprised me. Let's talk about it in today's video presented by BetUS. Now, before we get started, we have had a ton of growth this week, and that is so appreciated. Please do me one quick favor, hit the subscribe button. I try not to ask in every single video, so make this ask worth it for me. I don't want to have to ask every single time. Just hit that subscribe button. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what Billy Napier had to say. He made a comment about basements, right? He said, when I talk to the team and I tell them, you need to focus on the things that you need to do and you need to not worry about what some guy on the internet in his basement in rural Central Florida has to say. Everybody went nuts, right? All right. Listen, first and foremost, Billy's clearly not from Florida. There are no basements in Central Florida. But people were watching that press conference looking for something to get upset about, and he gave it to them. And I think that's kind of the issue with this. I don't think it's super insulting. I don't personally think he meant it as a huge jab to the fan base, but he's in a precarious situation, right? They came out and they looked flat week 1 of year 3 against a coach in a really similar position. Week 1 of his year 3. It wasn't really competitive. And even worse than that, there was no juice or fire from the sidelines. So fans are, rightly so, really upset about it. So when they watch that press conference in a moment when they're looking for, ownership, I think, of the moment, it just didn't hit right. I don't think Coach Napier is in a position where he can do anything to lose the fan base or he can do anything to show his frustration with the criticism that he's currently getting, which, is warranted, right? That was not a great showing on Saturday. Now, what do I think happened? I think more than likely when he talked to the team, he said something to him like, you guys need to get off the internet and stop worrying about what so-and-so and rural Central Florida has to say about you and start worrying about doing your own job. Then he comes to the press conference and that kind of feeds right into his answer. I don't think he meant it as a jab at the fan base. I think he probably used it as a jab at his team when he was trying to motivate him. But you don't get to make that when you're in the position that he's in. And I think we know that he knows that because when he spoke at his press conference a couple days afterwards, he surprised me. He said he regretted what he said and he didn't mean things the way that they came across. Take a listen to the video and let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, terrible choice of words. I think obviously didn't explain myself the way I should have there. I think the question was about how do we help our players and our staff manage maybe criticism and adversity and noise maybe on the outside, in particular social media. People have told me about that. Obviously, I want to make it very clear, like that was not my intention there. I think ultimately, and there was no reference to our fans. I was just talking specifically about life in general, and we certainly deserve criticism with how we played. And I would tell you this, we've challenged the football team to represent the University of Florida better. And when you play poorly like we did Saturday, there's going to be criticism, and that is well deserved. So that had no will intent there for any person associated with our university.
All right. Now, before we go on, I want to give BetUS some love. You can go to BetUS and bet right now. Head on over to BetUS and use the promo code YouTube150, YouTube150 for a nice 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. I appreciate BetUS for their support. Go ahead and check them out. Okay, so you listened to what Billy Napier had to say, and first of all, kudos to him. He owned it. He said that, he shouldn't have said that. It was the poor choice of words, that it wasn't what he meant, that he didn't want to insult the fan base. And I really kind of feel like it's rare for head coaches to own their mistakes to the media like that. And, I think it was important that he came out to say it. I wasn't offended by the first comment. I didn't think it was a big deal. I think it was something where everyone was looking at something to be mad about. And he gave it to him. And even though it didn't offend me, I do think as a head coach getting paid almost $8 million, it's your job to not say stupid things. And I really do appreciate that he took the time to apologize for the fan base and shows that he does care. And, he said he would never want to insult this fan base. And, I think that that's the good move. You can't lose the fans at this juncture. If you do, it's over, And I really think what this shows us is something we've known all along on this channel. Billy Napier is a good guy. He does the right things. He teaches his players how to be good men. I just think there's a chance he may be in over his head. And, he said that it wasn't his intention. What was his intention would be my only question. It just seems like a jab at people criticizing the program. The people criticizing the program are our fans. I get that he is frustrated, just like we are. He said in that press conference on Monday, that he didn't expect Florida to look like they did on the field. That has to be frustrating for a coach. It has to be frustrating to go through the entire summer expecting that the product you're going to put on the field is a lot better than what actually showed up on Saturday. But fans do get the opportunity to express their frustrations. That's part of being a fan, right? When you buy tickets and the popcorn and the Coke and you show up in the 90 million degree heat and you sweat with 90,000 of your closest friends, you get the right to criticize your team, particularly when the product was as bad as it was on the field on Saturday. I just feel like Billy Napier gets paid millions of dollars not to show his frustration. And that's why people were upset. Billy Napier is a good guy. He owned that it was a mistake. He's in a precarious situation where he just needs to be careful about how he handles the fan base. They have a right to be upset, and you can't lose them. So what do you guys think? You think it was just a slip of the tongue, or Napier was just frustrated if he was trying to get his point across? Do you think like me where, maybe that was a line he used on the team in the locker room and it was something that probably shouldn't have made its way out when he went to his press conference a little while later? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We have a video coming out soon with a former player who has something to get off his chest. So make sure you're subscribed. You don't miss it. You're going to want to hear what he has to say. I appreciate BetUS for their support. And as always, go Gators.